What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Back to Hogwarts Day. It's fast approaching. It's actually this Friday, September 1st, and there's a little wiggle room in the schedule for potentially something to be shown. Let me make this very clear. I don't think all the things we're about to talk about today are going to appear there, but I want to talk about all the possibilities, the games in the Wizarding world that are possible, likely, not likely, that we could or could not potentially see there. So there's three. The first one, obviously, is something to do with Hogwarts Legacy. Let's get it out of the way immediately with saying the sequel or a sequel-like talk. I would almost put at 0. I wouldn't put exactly at 0 because I actually could see them mentioning the Switch version, right, which is still not out yet. I actually have to remind myself from time to time that I believe it comes out in November, obviously, right, delayed a few times. It's possible they show it or talk about it for like 30 seconds. And the reason I don't want to put the 0 possibility on Hogwarts Legacy 2 is because they could say something as in the game sold outrageous and we can't wait for the future, or they say like we can't wait to show you something ahead, or anything like that. So that's one thing. And I guess keeping it specifically on Hogwarts Legacy, there's of course the DLC. Would they show DLC? Will there be DLC? I'll be honest, as time continues to go on, my hopes for DLC continue to drop. I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't say 0%, but I would not put the percentage very high. At the same time, though, there's plenty of big open world games that have dropped DLC a year and a half after the base game release, so it's definitely not impossible. This would be a pretty okay time to show it, keeping in mind, though, that when you think about like last year and what they did, even with Hogwarts Legacy still upcoming, they did not show, we're not talking about like 10, 15, 20 minutes of stuff. That's why I say, out of all of these things that are happening, don't expect like a 20-minute, gaming corner where they do like 10 new announcements and stuff. It's just absolutely not going to happen. I'd say pick one, cross your fingers and pray, and see if it actually happens. But no, DLC, again, if they're talking about the Switch version, maybe they mentioned DLC. I wouldn't put that very high at all. The highest one, we'll put it in the middle of my video here, highest likelihood, I would say, would be Quidditch Champions. It's a game we've talked about a few times, and I really, really want it. There's not too much more that can be said. They haven't talked about it. They haven't showed it. They've done the play test. They've had multiple opportunities. Now, obviously, it's up to them when they're ready. I could say, well, you had Gamescom, you had Summer Game Fest. Ultimately, they could just not care about those, right? It's not ready, so they're not going to show it. But, for an event like this, I think to say something would be really nice. Look, I will latch on to anything because of this game or for this game, because I think it can be a relatively big hit. It has gone missing in action for the longest time. In fact, ever since it was announced, it's been missing in action, and I hope we see it very, very soon. I think eventually we will, hopefully by the end of this year. It's just that the Back to Hogwarts Day is a pretty okay shot. And then one that is definitely going to happen, but probably not here. I want to circle back to the Lego Harry Potter game. Won't spend too much time on it because we've already made videos on it. Look, it's going to happen. We've had some very, very solid leaks on it. I know the Gamescom thing, put that aside considering it's basically been debunked. That was just a fan or a troll or whatever that did all that stuff. But the people that have talked about the game actually being in existence, number one, they're separate from that, and number two, they're very, very trustworthy. So I do think, and again, that's kind of the point here, I think a Lego Harry Potter collection game, just like the Skywalker Saga, that will happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be announced. It's just when will it be announced? I would say because of the Gamescom troll thing, I think the odds are almost at 0, if not 0, just because it's too early. It hasn't even been 2 years since the Skywalker Saga came out, and obviously we know games take at least, at the very, very minimum, 3 years, if not 4 or 5 years. Even if they're rushing, even if they're crunching, which I really wouldn't suggest, we still got a while to go. So I don't think it's the right time to show it, talk about it. If they would have done it at Gamescom, that would have been a pretty big deal, I would have said. So there you go. Obviously not super optimistic, but they haven't really given me reason, to be. I don't know. The Hogwarts Legacy 2, obviously there will be more Hogwarts Legacy. It's just, will there be, I guess, a definitive sequel? I mean, they could do like an anthology thing. So there will be more Hogwarts Legacy, but is it going to be shown here? Highly doubt it. DLC, I guess that's definitely more likely. Quidditch Champions is the most timely. I think it makes the most sense. But Lego, for as confident as I am in it, I just don't think it's the right time. I think eventually we'll get it. It's just not right now. So you let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turn on. If something does happen, you can bet your bottom dollar that I will be making a video on it this Friday. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all there.